Hey everyone, and welcome to another weekly check-in vlog where I take you along for the weekend to see how I'm doing and what I'm reading. My name is Wiebke, and this year I'm trying to get myself out of survival mode. It's Saturday morning running time. I'm going to go for a 10k run and I'm going to start a new audiobook, The Lost Love Songs of Boysie Singh. I have forgotten what it's about, but I'm curious to see what's going on. I already cleaned my kitchen a little bit. That's why we're here, because while I am a fan of the evening reset and clearing away everything as you go and after cooking, I am not doing it. I like the idea, but I'm really bad at implementing it or applying it. So I'm often much better at doing the cleaning in the morning. Well, this weekend is going to be a lot about maintenance tasks. There's quite a few things that I didn't get to in recent weeks that I need to do. And then it's also the last weekend of June, so I want to rethink the goals I set so far and make new plans for the next quarter and see how I'm doing with everything. So I want to sit down for that. And I also wrote down for June that I wanted to go on an adventure, maybe a little hike or something, to an area where I haven't been, and maybe we'll do that tomorrow. I have no clue yet. Reading wise, I'm still reading The God and the Gwisin, but I'm getting a little tired of it, so I might start something else as well. But first, let's go running. It's Sunday midday. Let's have a chat about what happened on the weekend. So far, I did my run. I think that's the last time we talked. And I started listening to The Lost Love Songs of Boysie Singh, and it is a challenging audiobook, mostly because the book is written in Trinidadian dialect. So the narrators do an amazing job at voicing out the dialect, but it's a little difficult to follow sometimes, so I'm not 100% sure if I interpreted all the words and places correctly. The story is told by 4 different women, and they are talking about the relationship they have with Boysie Singh, who in the book starts off with him being, I think it was hanged for crimes that he committed, and he seems to have been a crime lord in Toko, I think is what they always call the place where they're at. I think it's a city on Trinidad. I looked it up and forgot it immediately. Good job, Wiebke. Anyways, so we get those 4 women's perspectives and storylines, and they all have relationships with Boysie Singh. As far as the alternating part, it's not evenly spread out. I think the first woman, Rose, we only had 1 chapter by her so far, but we have names. We're mostly hearing from 2 people's perspectives. They are alternating a lot. And the 4th woman I remember is Doris. And I think, yeah, I'll put names up here somewhere if I remember to look it up. Those 2 women we get the most storyline from so far are more or less in a relationship with him at the same time. More or less aware of that. Most of what's happened so far is when Boysie Singh is very young and is early 20s, so not the crime lord that he apparently gets to be. I have 7 or 8 hours left of the audiobook, so I barely scratched the surface. But so far I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it for the audiobook experience. Like I said, it is in dialect and it's not that easy to listen to, but I do think that it's more enjoyable to listen to than to read for me. So I am enjoying that immensely. I am also enjoying the alternating narration that we skip back and forth between those characters, so we get different sides of the story and different sides of Boysie Singh. I also like that we don't get his own voice. Maybe that comes later, but so far I've only heard him being talked about and experienced. And I think that's a nice way of telling a story of someone and seeing the effect he has and impact he has on the women in his life. I like that part of the book. But I'm not going to finish it today. I am about to go on a bike ride, so I'm going to listen to the book more, but it's utopian to think that I can finish it this weekend. But I will include it in my June wrap-up, so the final thoughts of the book, you can hear them there. But that's not all I did yesterday. I came back from my run, did some maintenance tasks, breakfast, some YouTube, and I noticed at some point that I was mostly trying to think. I mentioned before I need to readdress my goals and plan the statistics and goals video and decide on what I want to do for the next quarter or in July. And I also had to rethink a little bit the last week. It was the second week in the new job, and it was immensely better than the first one, meaning that I knew more tasks and got to learn some things. I still feel completely clueless as what I'm doing, but everybody says it's normal. And yeah, I also had to think a little bit about the general situation and things I've been noticing recently. So most of yesterday, I looked like I was doing nothing, but I was napping and thinking. And I was also avoiding reading my book. That's something I noticed around 3-ish, that no matter what I was doing, I was mostly trying to not sit down and watch series and avoid picking up my book. I'm still reading The God and the Gwisin, and I'm not going to go into detail into that book again. You can watch last week's review or, again, my June wrap-up. I will wrap it up there, but currently I'm halfway through, a little bit more than halfway, and I'm a little bit bored by the story. I still like the world. I still like the writing. I do like the characters. I'm still having the same issue, or a little bit less of an issue, with the reincarnation plot that is going on. But the murder mystery and intrigue and manipulation that is going on there, it's kind of more boring than I expected and more annoying than I usually like. It's a me problem. I don't like people being manipulated by others, and the way it is happening here is something that I especially don't like, if it is what is happening. So, don't have the conclusion yet. Like I said, a little bit more than halfway through. But I noticed that I wanted to read something else, but I didn't find anything else. So I spent about an hour looking at books I might want to read, books I might want to get. I was thinking about going to town, going to the bookstore, but then I thought I'd have to go out and be among people, which I definitely didn't want. In the end, I ended up going to the store, buying stuff for pizza, and having an early couch and series evening, and a late one at that. Yeah, that's why I started late today, which is perfectly fine. I did some more maintenance tasks. I finalized the ideas I have for my Q2 goals and my reading statistics. So that is coming up in 1 or 2 weeks as well, something to look forward to. And now it's, what did I say, 1 p.m. and it's kind of warm-ish and dry-ish. So I think I want to go on a bike ride, and I discarded the idea of going on a hike somewhere else and just go take my bike probably to Mashli, take some leftover pizza and have a picnic. And I'll listen to more of the Lost Love songs of Boysie Singh. I'll update you later, and hopefully we'll get some nice footage from wherever I'm going. Well, that was a good idea. I went to the canal and cycled alongside it, sat down, had my picnic, and then cycled back home. It was very good. I listened to a lot more of the Lost Love songs of Boysie Singh, and oh, it's getting more intense. We're getting more of the women's stories and what they're willing to do for Boysie Singh and the things they believe, or how much belief they disband, and how he can fool them. It's really interesting. I'm enjoying this very much. It's about 4 p.m. now. I'm not going to do much anymore. So let me know how your weekend was. How are you doing? Are you preparing for Q3 and checking in with your goals, let me know in comments. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.